Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. PokeOdds here. Today we're checking out temporal forces from both a collecting standpoint and an investing standpoint. Two sort of interrelated parts of the hobby in my opinion. So temporal forces, as the title somewhat alludes to, this set was very close to being perfect, but it got one thing wrong. Now that may sound a little bit harsh because I really like this set. So let's talk about its positives first, and then at the end of the video, I will talk about, I guess, the one negative that I think it really missed out on. Really quick 30-second interlude, Pocket Decks, a new app. I've plugged this one before, trying to help some guys out. They're trying to get this app off the ground. From what I can see, it looks like a really cool app. It can be your main collection app. You know, you can scan cards, but what makes it, I suppose, stand out from the crowd a little bit is that it has that real compatibility with friends and trading. So it'll give you like-for-like trades. It'll suggest good trades between friends. And I think that's something that makes it stand out a little bit from the competition. So I'll leave a link up in the description if you wanted to check it out. So what actually makes a good Pokemon card set? And I think from an investing standpoint and a collecting standpoint, the two are almost intertwined and go quite hand in hand. Because the way I see it, if it's a great collectible set, there's every chance it's going to be a great set to invest in, because collectability equals demand, and demand will eat up supply, and low supply and lots of demand will equal increase in prices. So I think the two are very, very closely related in the Pokemon card world. So let's look at temporal forces, okay? A pretty easy one. What makes it good, or what makes a set good? One thing that stands out to me is fantastic artwork. If we look back through the ages, for Pokemon card sets that perform well, from a collecting standpoint and an investing standpoint, it's always to do with artwork, or artwork stands very close, if not at the top of the tree. Look at Evolving Skies, brilliant artwork. Look at E-Series sets like Expedition. Look at EX Team Rocket Returns. Okay, those sort of sets with just stellar artwork have always performed really well. And I just want to slide through some cards here from Temporal Forces, mainly about the top 10 hits, and just look at the artwork on these cards. You can't deny and you can't sway away from the fact that Temporal Forces has damn good artwork. Again, hats off, kudos. I've said this for a lot of Scarlet and Violet sets. The artwork is phenomenal. So it deserves the recognition that it should get. Hands off, or hats off, I should say, to the artists. What a fantastic job that you have done when it comes to the artwork in these new Pokemon card sets. So Temporal Forces sits, in my opinion, nearly at the top of the tree when it comes to Scarlet and Violet artwork. Perhaps 151, but that's, well, no, actually, I think Temporal Forces has nicer artwork. 151 has better Pokemon, but Temporal Forces has nicer artwork. And that's, I suppose, what I'm touching on here is the artwork. It has phenomenal artwork. I think we should have probably rolled through those pictures now to give you a bit of a look at the top 10 artworks. Now, another thing that makes a set quite collectible and also quite investable is pull rates. And you could argue sets like Evolving Skies and Fusion Strike and Chilling Reign, we've all heard the terms like Chilling Pain and Evolving Cries, etc. Those have such bad pull rates, which makes it quite frustrating. Why have those sets gone up so much though? Because there's banger chase cards inside it, and if you increase the pull rate, so make it harder to get a card, generally that's going to increase its value because it's rarer. Like, it's just simple economics when it comes to Pokemon card economics. And I really, really like the way they've tiered the pull rates again in Temporal Forces. We're talking, now I've got them up on the screen here, we're talking similar pull rates to Sword and Shield alt art Pokemon and big chase card alt art Pokemon. I think from memory something like a Giratina V is about 1 in 720 packs for that specific card. And you can say the same thing here about Temporal Forces. Okay, some of those top chase cards are at similar pull rates to things like Giratina V, things like Charizard V from Brilliant Stars. Those main chase cards from Sword and Shield era, we're back up in that tiered pull rates. And that's something I've been saying has been missing somewhat from Scarlet and Violet, is that tiered pull rate. So for me, there's two massive ticks when it comes to Temporal Forces. We have phenomenal artwork and we're back to having tiered pull rates. Another big tick is an introduction of an old mechanic that we haven't seen since Black and White era, which is those Spec cards. And I think all the odds tell us that you're going to get 2 per booster box, which makes them incredibly common. In fact, I think that's the same pull rate as Amazing Rares in Vivid Voltage. I'm pretty sure that if you open a Vivid Voltage booster box, you're guaranteed 2 Amazing Rares. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I do remember that fact. So we're talking similar pull rates when it comes to Amazing Rares from Vivid Voltage. We all know what happened to prices of Amazing Rares from Vivid Voltage. They absolutely tanked. Same thing is probably going to be said about these. Don't forget it's 1 per deck. Like, that's the whole sort of fun behind it. It's a mechanic from Black and White era, so it's great to see it back. So that's another tick. Now, I suppose let's go down the rabbit hole of the thing that it's missing. And this is what, I won't say ultimately kills it, because it doesn't kill it, but it could have made a good set, which in my eyes, it's too early to tell from an investing standpoint because it really depends on pull rates. But in my eyes, it's looking like a solid B+ sort of set if we were to grade it. And I'm not going into all the mechanics of exactly how I've come to that, but we're talking good artwork. We're talking tiered pull rates. We're talking, I suppose, this new Ancient and Future and a follow-up to Paradox Rift. It's a cool set. But what could have made it better? I'm not saying this has killed the set, but this could have took it to a whole new level. If we look at the whole Paradox Rift and Temporal Forces idea, it's of course based off the new Scarlet and Violet video game with Paradox Pokemon and this whole new Ancient and Future mechanic, which is good. We need fresh things in the trading card world and, of course, the computer game world. So it's good to bring in fresh things and fresh ideas. What I think they've really missed here, though, is the fact that if we're talking Ancient and Future Pokemon, why didn't we bring back some of the old classics that people really liked? Wouldn't this have been the perfect opportunity? And I know Groudon's already been in a set. What was that in? Maybe it was. Maybe Groudon was in Paradox Rift, wasn't it? But, where's a special illustration rare for Kyogre and Rayquaza and Groudon? I know that got an illustration rare from Paradox Rift, but where's a special illustration rare for those 3 Pokemon? Aren't they like, the keepers of the land, the sea for all time, and the sky and the weather? Like, imagine having a special illustration Rayquaza in this set, and a special illustration Kyogre, and a special illustration Groudon. That would have just killed it. And what about future? I don't know, maybe bring back Deoxys or something. Imagine a special illustration rare Deoxys. I think they just missed a beat there. If we'd brought back some of those fan favourite Pokemon, we know how much Pokemon 151 popped off because it's got Gen 1. But this is something I've been saying for a while, that Scarlet and Violet is missing a beat when it comes to injecting some Gen 2, Gen 3, Gen 4 Pokemon back into it. It's not just for the investment standpoint. It's for the collecting standpoint as well, because yes, of course, heaps of kids, and probably predominantly kids, buy Pokemon cards and parents buy it for their kids. But I don't know what the ratio is, but is it 70-30? And by 30, is it, people in their 20s and 30s like us that are still buying Pokemon cards to open them and pull them and have fun and collect them and invest in them? So if it is 70-30, you're missing a huge chunk of your buying base if you're forgoing all these Gen 2, Gen 3, Gen 1, Gen 4 Pokemon and not injecting them into sets. I know what do we get in this set? Maybe Metagross, we get Ghastly, we get glimpses at Gengar, but other than that, it's all just still these new Paldean region Pokemon. And I think, yeah, that's probably what the kids want to collect, but come on, Pokemon Company, there's still a fair share of the market that wants to see these Gen 2, 3, 4 Pokemon, and we showed you that with Pokemon 151. I feel like I've gone down a rant again. I don't want to turn this channel into a ranting channel. I'm not. I'm saying this set is a really solid set. B+, great work, Pokemon, great work, artists, but just missed a beat to turn it into an A-tier set by injecting a special illustration rare Rayquaza, Groudon, Kyogre, Deoxys, bang, bang, bang. Would have been better. Hey, if you've got some commentary around that, please let me know. What are your thoughts around Temporal Forces? I hope you've opened some. I hope you pulled the hits from it. Anyway, I'm Michael. This is PokeOz, and I'll catch everyone next time.